All right, guys, so today I have been sober for 5 years. This is honestly something that I didn't think was possible. 5 years ago, did not think, did not think it was possible. I could barely get a couple months strung together, and that was super duper hard, and I was definitely white knuckling and a grumpy person the whole entire time. So to be able to say that I have been sober, I have not had a drink in 5 years, is absolutely unbelievable to me. And I wanted to hop on and just share some things that I've learned, some of the experiences that I've had in the last 5 years to hopefully provide some hope by sharing my experience to people that are still working on getting there. Honestly, one of the best things that happened to me since I've gotten sober is that I have been in the best shape of my whole entire life. And the reason I say that it's one of the best things is because this is like all I have. This is the only thing that is mine that nobody can take away from me. And I neglected it for decades before I got sober. So it's been incredible to be able to go to a doctor. I don't have to worry about liver values. I don't have to worry about lying to the doctor about how much I drank. I don't have any of that stuff. So that is one of the coolest things that has ever happened to me since getting sober. It's great. It's really great. I've also, since getting sober, quit a lot of my other bad habits. I don't smoke cigarettes or chew tobacco anymore. That's been great as well. Those are things that I couldn't have done if I didn't get sober. That's the truth, because they went so hand in hand, and now here we are. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. Another thing is my mental health has improved significantly since I got sober. And I didn't even realize that my mental health was truly in decline while I was in active addiction, because you're in it. It's very difficult to see the water if you're a fish swimming in it. So you don't realize that, hey, I'm unhappy, I'm miserable, and these are the reasons why. Now that I'm sober, I can clearly see that my drinking problem was a problem. It's just that simple. Now I still, I have to be honest. Not every day is perfect. I still have bad days. I have a therapist. I will probably keep a therapist forever, because it's like doing regular maintenance on a vehicle. I think it's important. But the difference now is that I have the clarity, I have the sobriety, I have the focus to be able to actually handle bad days when they come, instead of having to drink about it, which is what I always used to do in the past. So that's a huge difference in the way that I approach my experience. Again, not every day is going to be perfect, but we're humans having a human experience. It is more perfect now that I've been sober for as long as I have than it would have been if I was still drinking. I guarantee you that much. The coolest thing, though, is that I've experienced things that I never thought were possible when I was still drinking. I wrote a research paper that got published, and I presented it in France. I didn't even pay for that. Like, the university that I was a part of sent me to do that. I could not have done that if I was still drinking. Like, I think when I was in France, I was thinking about how I would have behaved if I was there. It wouldn't have been pretty. It wouldn't have been pretty. I would not have performed well at the conference. It wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been a good thing at all. The other things that I've experienced, I have 2 more kids. They never would have even been born. Never would have even been born if I never got sober. But I mean, I might have had 2 kids someday, who knows? But like 2 kids with my wife, it wouldn't have happened. Wouldn't have happened if I kept drinking, because my wife and I wouldn't have continued our relationship. That's the reality, because we were almost divorced at one point. So there you go. That is other, like, I won't say taking care of my body is the most important part, because it's all that I have. But the second, a very close second, like this neck and neck close second, is that I have 2 more kids today. They wouldn't have existed if it weren't for getting sober. That's huge to me, because I love being a dad. It is the coolest experience that I have. So my kids are very important to me, and the fact that I have 2 more amazing kids because I got sober is great. Maro, thank you. Maro says he's proud of me. I appreciate this. Somebody from back home I've known for a very, very long time. Another thing that I have experienced since getting sober is I help people get sober. It's what I do full time. It's all I do, is help other people get to experience the benefits that I've experienced from getting sober. It is so, so meaningful to me to be able to share the knowledge that I have with other people so that hopefully they go share it with other people too. But more importantly, their life improves and the lives of the people around them improves. That's one thing I don't think I was very selfish. You have to be selfish to a very large degree to be in active addiction. That's just the reality. There's a level of you that has to be selfish. And I was very selfish for very many years. Getting sober, I became quite a bit less selfish. I still have my moments. I'm a human, right? But the coolest thing to me is to be able to help other people break free of that and change the world around them by getting sober. It's incredible. It's an incredible thing to be able to do and to be able to see and to be able to be a part of. Obviously couldn't have ever done that if I was still drinking. It just wouldn't work that way. I wouldn't have the knowledge. I wouldn't have the experience to be able to help other people in the way that I can today. Another thing that I didn't think was possible was being as present with people as I am. You know, like being able to be there, not being preoccupied with feeling like crap because I drank the night before, or thinking about drinking that night, or already being intoxicated. I mean, one of the biggest mistakes I made in my marriage has been the years where I just wasn't available. I wasn't emotionally or physically available. I mean, I might have been in the room, but I wasn't in the room. I don't have to worry about that anymore. You know, I have more patience than I've ever had, and with my kids, and anyone that has kids, that's something that's a big deal. It's important. You know, I can remember times truthfully, and this makes me sick to think about, but times in my life where I'm putting a kid to bed and all I'm thinking about is like, would you please just fall asleep so that I can go drink? I don't do that anymore. My daughter right now, I got a 3-year-old she's doing the thing where she doesn't want to sleep. And sometimes I seriously have to spend an hour or more hanging out with her, waiting for her to go to sleep. That would not have been something that I would have wanted to do or even been willing to do when I was still drinking. Like it would have been a fight. I would not have really enjoyed it. I would have been yelling and screaming and completely upset. And that's not how it goes down now. I just realized that, hey, this is a season that I'm in. It's not going to last forever. I don't need to race off to go drink. I don't have any of that stuff going on. I'll just hang out and get through it. That's one of the things I get to experience now that I'm sober. And the other thing is relationships. Like, not every relationship that I've had has gotten improved since getting sober. That's just the reality. Some of them honestly got worse or just disappeared. Some of them faded. You know, relationship I had with people that were based purely off drinking, I don't have any business hanging out with them. There's nothing wrong with that person. There's nothing wrong with them. We're all on our own journey. I'm not judging. But what do you do? I mean, if you don't drink anymore and all you did was drink, yeah, you're going to lose those relationships. But the other relationships that I have gotten stronger. You know, I'm more vulnerable, more open with people, more willing to be helpful to other people because I'm not so dang selfish and just worrying about myself and drinking. So relationships have improved. And again, back to being present, being patient. Like, I'm there for people in ways that I never was before. So I am a better friend than I have ever been because of my sobriety. That is a part of it. I did not realize how much drinking hindered me until I got away from it. I had no clue. I just had no clue. I was in a culture. I'm originally from Wyoming. It's steeped heavily in drinking culture. Everyone around me drank too. So this is just the way that it was. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't realize I was capable of more because I was gauging my own experience off the experiences of other people. So what? I mean, if they're doing it, I'm doing it, everybody's doing it. There's nothing wrong with it. But you get away from it. You move away from the drinking and you realize that life is way better on the other side of alcohol. But I had to get there. I had to have that experience to be where I'm at now and realize, hey, 5 years later, I look back and I see so many things so clear in ways that I didn't before. I can see moments in my life where the drinking got worse. Pretty much I could pinpoint on a timeline how my drinking career changed over the years from like barely drinking to drinking every weekend to drinking on more days than weekends to having traumatic events that turned into drinking like every day to then having the habit of wanting to drink every day and having difficulty pulling out of it. I can see all that stuff clearly now. 5 years of time in the rearview mirror give somebody a lot of clarity and understanding. And that's what I'm hoping to share with people through this. And what I've been hopefully sharing with people through this, my page, my profile, this whole entire time, so that other people don't do it. So that people don't end up in the position where I was at. You know, I literally, seriously almost died because of drinking, period. There's no way around it. You don't turn yellow because you're a pinnacle of health. It's that simple. You know, yellow eyes and yellow skin, the whole jaundice thing. Here I am 5 years later, fine. Liver levels are fine. It took quitting. It took changing my diet. It took taking care of my body. It took getting rest. It took all those things. It did take those things. It wasn't just quitting and snap my fingers and everything was better. But sobriety gave me the foundation to make the changes in my life necessary to be where I am today, to have the experiences that I have today. And I just hope everybody recognizes that. Like, drinking isn't good for any of us. I don't care if you're a moderate drinker. It's not good for you. And the reality is because it's used as a coping mechanism, because the experience is that we have an external stress, then we have some sort of binging behavior. Well, if the binging behavior we've learned is drinking, you turn to drinking. And then there's a withdrawal after that. And the problem with alcohol is the withdrawal itself often is a stress, which then leads to more binging, which is more drinking. And I bring that up to point out that even if you're in control of your drinking today, you are one traumatic event from not being in control of your drinking. That's the reality. That is a reality. You ask anyone who has developed a drinking problem over the years, many of them, that has been their experience. One day, you're behind the wheel and you're in control, and the next moment, you're driving drunk. Like, that's just a reality. And all it took was the wrong dang day, the wrong moment for you to completely slip down the hill and be at the bottom of it and not even know how you got there. Because nobody plans to get there. I didn't. There was never, I did not put that on my life bingo. In fact, I had planned to do the opposite because I have people in my family that have drinking problems. And I go, well, because I've seen that, I'm better than that. I will not have that happen. I'm aware of it, therefore it cannot affect me. And that is wrong because there are lots of things going on underneath the surface of your own experience that you're not even aware of. You have no awareness of what your unconscious and your subconscious are doing. You can develop an awareness of that, but most of us don't have it. So when the binging behavior becomes an everyday habit, it is almost imperceptible until you are in its claws and you are stuck. And that is why I do what I do. That is why I make the content that I make. And that is why I help people get out of the jaws of the monster so that they can live a life that's full and fruitful like I do. I want people to have a better life free from the chains of having a drinking problem. It's that simple. Nobody deserves to be shackled to a bottle. It's that simple. I just want to say thank you to every single one of you that follow me, that engage with the page, that are a part of this, everyone that's been a part of my recovery journey. I have innumerable people, therapists, worked with sponsor over the years. I don't do AA at this point, but it was important for a while in my experience. It takes a village, as they say. Yeah, I had family members that were super supportive, friends that were supportive. All of that stuff adds up. It all adds up. They're all tools. Some of them work for us. Some of them don't work for us. Some of them we'll use for a while. Some of them we get rid of. It's just the way that the human experience occurs. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been there along the way. If you're struggling with drinking at this point, I really hope that you do something to make a change, whatever that looks like. I have no idea what that looks like for you, but I hope that you do something different. I hope that you don't continue to do the same thing over and over again, especially if you know that it doesn't serve you at this point. Again, thank you, everybody. 5 years. I can't believe it. I honestly, I can't believe it. I just can't. It's been a journey. It has been a journey. Any of you who are struggling, I have a sober community that exists. Obviously, there's my profile. You're obviously welcome always. You can message me. I have group coaching. I have private coaching. I have anything that you could possibly need. Any tool that you could possibly need to get and stay sober is at your fingertips, and I can help you get to those things. So if you need any of that, click the link in my bio, send me a message, leave a comment, whatever it looks like for you. You don't deserve to suffer. You deserve to have a life that's meaningful and full. And I promise you, you'll never experience that until you get sober. I know that because I experienced it. I thought my life was meaningful and full for a long time. Sat on as the president on different boards, different community outreach programs, 4.0 GPA in college, had kids, married, had a job, all the things. All of those things. I checked off every single box that society had given me that I felt that I needed to check off. And until I got sober, I did not get to experience the fullness and the richness of life. Because even with all those boxes checked off, I wasn't even there to check them off, period. I wasn't present in my romantic relationships, in my friendships. I wasn't present at work to the level that I could have been present. I wasn't present in school to the way I had a 4.0 GPA and I still could have done more. I know that because I got sober and then I did more. That's how I ended up going to France. That's how I ended up getting research that was published. It's not work that I could have done if I was still drinking, period. It's just that simple. And obviously I couldn't do the meaningful work of helping other people to get sober and stay sober if I was still drinking. That wouldn't work. So all of the things, all of the blessings that life has given me since I got sober, I would not have if I was still drinking. And I want all of you to have the blessings that are available to you of this life. I want you to have fullness and I want you to have richness. I got to hop off. I pretty much have clients all day today, but I had a small break and I wanted to take the opportunity to hop on and just thank everybody for the support. I want to thank all of you for being supportive of one another. I do everything I can to reply to all the comments that I can, but I can't always be there. So it's cool to see everyone else interact and engage. I promise you, sobriety is the best decision you will ever make in your whole entire life. If you are on the fence, it is time to get off the fence. It is time to get on the wagon, as they say. It is time to get sober. Again, I got to get going. I have got a client. I don't want to be late. You guys have a great day. Thank you.